Record. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you to everybody who's on our call this evening. We're super excited to be sharing all about Tranont to folks who may have already tried a few products, folks who might be just looking to learn a little bit more, folks who've tried one and maybe are ready to try something else. Or also tonight, we're going to be kind of integrating a little bit of information from folks that have been sharing as well. So we're going to get started. And I just want to make sure everybody kind of knows a little bit about the background of Tranont. So their background is that they're a wealth education company. So what I really love is on the first call I had with someone from corporate Tranont, the company was described to me as creating legacy wealth for your family. And he specifically said, we are not one of these bikinis and Lamborghinis companies. And I thought that was really, really telling to say, this is a company that really like looks out for its associates and is really genuinely interested in creating like a lifetime of whatever you want it to be here, right? If you want this to be your career or your income or your side hustle or anything, that they want us to not be, flashing money around as if it's like, the living fast lifestyle. It's, how do you create health? And so that's how the health piece is. If you have your wealth, what good is that if you can't enjoy your body, if you can't chase up the stairs after your grandkids, if you can't hop up off the chair and go greet your dog, or, like all these little things we take for granted, and of course, bigger health issues than those examples, but just being able to live our life, those health and wealth have to go in hand in hand. And the next piece I'm going to be sharing soon in the coming months is also community. They really believe in lifting where you live. And so I think as a community of customers and associates, it would be really fun to start picking some organizations to partner with. And like once a month or once every 6 weeks, we do like some sort of give back, or, we all go help somewhere if anyone has a group they're passionate about. So health, wealth, and community is kind of the foundation. But tonight we're mostly here talking about the health piece, and then also a little bit more on the business side, kind of integrated in through. So it's not like, here's the health and then here's the business opportunity, because I think here, more than anywhere else I've ever been, it's so integrated, right? Because you get passionate when you feel good. You want to tell people and you're like, I feel amazing. Like, I've seen people going like this already, like, look how much I can bend my knees. Like multiple of you, like many of you actually are on this call, and you're not the only one who's showed me how well you can bend your knees. So I'm just going to preface the call by saying we're not here to heal, diagnose, anything like that, but we're just talking about results that we've seen. So that's like the little quick overview. So we're going to jump in and talk about some of the top products and why listen to me when you can listen to way more fabulous people than me. So I think we'll probably start. Oh, the only product I didn't bring over with me was my bottle of collagen. If anybody, actually, I'll just grab one real quick. And the collagen is, I would say, #1 product. After the age of in your 20s, you start depleting your collagen stores in your body. It's like taking it out of a cupboard that never gets replenished, right? The only way to replenish it is to supplement it. So we've got our Glow Collagen, which is also I wanted to show you this. There's no behind the scenes with me. If you want to be real, you're going to get what you get. So I want you to think too, if you're someone who's been like, I kind of wanted to share the products, but how does she remember all the things? You don't have to remember everything. You can like learn, take notes. I feel like it's important to make sure you don't feel like you have to be perfect to do any kind of a side hustle. So anyways, it's a type 1 collagen, which most of the collagen in your body is type 1. So when you're thinking about replenishing, what do you want? You want to have type 1 because that's what needs to be replenished. 90%, I think, of your collagen is type 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then when your type 1 is filled, then your body will start making type 2 once it is, once it is stocked up on type 1. I'm sure I'm not using scientific terms for that, but this is just like what I've been learning, and anyone jump in anytime if I say something that's not quite right. But it's sugar-free. It's got 10 grams of protein in every serving. It's got vitamin C, which helps you be able to absorb It's collagen peptides, which are the smallest molecule, which allows for it to be really well absorbed by our body. There's nothing synthetic in here at all. So our body is recognizing it for what it is. So it's grass-fed bovine collagen. And it has medical amount of biotin. They actually use this in this formula in the States in hospitals, which I recently learned, which I thought was very cool. But I was not sold when I first heard about it, because I was like, I don't know anything about collagen. But the more I've learned, especially in particular to price wise, I'm actually going to throw it over to our friend later to kind of talk about the price comparisons she did after the first night she and I got talking about that. We'll hear more from Susan later, but I just want to compare that to, a lot of people will say, I've definitely been using collagen for a long time. I put it in my morning coffee, or I have the powder from this store or that store. But we have a 90% absorption rate, which most other collagens are 10 to 30% if they're powdered or pill, and certainly not 90% for most other liquids either. So when you think financially, right, at least you're spending your money on something that you're seeing results in a few weeks, actually, for some people, or a month or 2 months, you're actually seeing tangible results. Whereas you could be spending your money and not actually getting the full benefit that your bodies need. So we're going to take it over right now to Rita Kerr, who's been having great results with her collagen. And she's just going to tell us a little bit about her journey, because I think stories speak louder than facts for me. And we're going to just ask her what she thinks. So why don't you tell us about your glow journey so far?
Well, first off, I love it. And as my dad says, we started him on it too. He said, I don't know why people don't like this. I think it tastes good. So I'm getting used to drinking it at night. I love having it every night. On the 4th day of having it, I woke up in the morning and I said to my husband, I don't have pain in my right knee. Anyway, I've just been feeling so fabulous. I can run up and down stairs confidently without holding on. I was going step for step at one point, kind of given up, like this is what's left for me, taking tons of Celebrex and tons of Tylenol arthritis. I take 1 Tylenol arthritis in the morning and 1 at night now. And I'm just feeling great. My husband told me last week, he said, you have been so happy. I haven't seen you this happy in a long time. And I am genuinely happy in my heart, which is amazing. That's a really good part for me. And
hey, everybody, he didn't warn us to get our Kleenexes out, but yeah, that is one of the things. All right, I'm going to keep going here in 2 and say you could have been a customer from your daughter happily and just been happy to support her and purchase from her. And you're not someone who's done the direct marketing sales before. You've always been an entrepreneurial woman as a hairdresser and having your salon in your home. But what made you kind of start thinking, because you bought my former product from me for years and we never got to this level of conversation. What made you think, I should probably just start sharing this as well?
Well, I believe in home-based businesses. So that for one, there was no downside to signing up as an associate. So I thought, what the heck? And I wasn't being pushed in a hurry or anything. So I thought, well, I'll sign up and buy my product and benefit from that, get my points. And then when I did, I realized, hey, this can get supplemented by bringing people in under you and having people buy it. And there's no pressure. There's buy as you will.
Yeah. And I think you're a really good spot to have people here too, because you just had your 60th birthday last month and are like looking and feeling fine. And I think you're a really good example of someone who just shares genuinely from your heart, right? So if anyone's ever watching myself or Grace that we have on the call, or Susan that we have on the call, people who are like very comfortable on social media and doing all the things, you're really building your customer base by those genuine connections and, catching up with an old friend that, might be struggling. And so I thought that would be a good part to point out, because there's lots of people on the call who will have that personality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you?
I just talk to people from my heart.
Mhm.
I mean, it's working for me. I'm not a doctor. I don't ask me what the ingredients are. I just know I feel great, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. So,
Amazing. Perfect. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure every guest speaker tonight, we could have like an hour with each person, but we're going to keep our eye on the time. And we're going to truck along to the next, I would say this one is like taking people by storm. This is the Mojo. So we're going to have, who did we have going on for Mojo? I think Susan, right? Susan's going to talk about Mojo. And Mojo is a coffee supplement or hot chocolate. There's a fruitier version called Zest, which is almost the exact same properties. And why don't we just actually start with only a little bit of information, hearing from Susan about why she is just over the moon with her Zest. But basically, it's a way to have a different kind of energy that lasts all day, leaves you feeling good, doesn't give you the crash and that constant cortisol cycle that coffee puts us on, right? And I'm just trying to remember how to switch over to Susan. Susan, you're here. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, I love the fact that you said I'm great with social media, because I am not. I am the person that thought I was doing a video and forgot to hit the record button. So I just want to remind everybody to put the bar a little lower than they expect. I do like Rita, speak from the heart. A lot of times people ask me, like, how do you feel? I'm like, I can just tell you I feel better. Don't ask me what's in there. Don't ask me how it works, but I just tell you I can feel better. So the Mojo really interests me, for I am a single mom. I have my kids 99.9% of the time. Don't get much of a break, work a full-time job. That's very stressful. So I drink between 6 to 8 cups of coffee a day just to get through. I am permanently exhausted, and just go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Okay, go. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it in a minute.
That was actually scripted just to show us how busy you are, actually. Yeah.
Go on. No, go on. I'll be there in a minute. Anyways, I'm on my phone. I don't know where the mute button is on this thing. Anyways,
Okay.
So I'm permanently exhausted. I tell people all the time, society expects a lot from women, and seems to be more for women than men. You know, we're taught to raise children like we don't have a job and work like we don't have children, and we're permanently exhausted. So even with my 8 to 10 cups of coffee, 6 to 8, 10, sometimes 10 cups of coffee, and I mean large cups of coffee. There's not a small mug in my cupboard. This is like the size of my coffee. I usually have coffee in this. I was exhausted. I'd have the cravings in the afternoon. I eat candy. Like, anybody knew if they wanted candy, they could go in my office drawer and they would find bags of candy. I started Mojo. I was a little skeptical, a little bit. I'm like, okay, the first time, maybe it felt good to, it made me feel good and it gave me lots of energy. But the first day I was blown away right away. I tried it. I had so much more energy. I felt with the Mojo, it was like a slow release energy throughout the day. It wasn't that big burst of energy and then that crash. And I didn't get that. The cortisol heightening, I didn't get any of that. The afternoon cravings with the sugar, didn't get any of that. I mean, no yawning in the afternoon. I was just amazed. Now, I do drink 2 packs of Mojo a day. I tried to do one. It wasn't good. It wasn't enough. So I do have one early in the morning. I have the second one like late afternoonish. But it's been life-changing for me. I feel better. I feel like I have energy, but I also feel a lot less cranky. And my kids even say that I seem like happier and, yeah, I can't explain it. I just feel better.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I think that, and I mean, you having 2 Mojo, I mean, if anyone else on the call can relate to having 8 to 10 extra large coffees, like we can extrapolate that. Actually, there, yeah, I got some hands up in the background here, right? So, you know, even having 2 Mojo, you're still saving money. Like the drive-through coffee is not cheap, right? So when you do that cross comparison, I mean, Susan told me straight up, point blank, that she was having a little get together at the house so she could learn more. And then when she got there, she's like, I'm not really sure if I'm interested. You know, I just want to support you for whatever. And she started doing all these cost comparisons because I can relate. Single mom, 3 kids, like life is expensive, and you really have to make sure that you're spending money on something that's either valuable to yourself or a better product than you were previously purchasing. And I mean, if you want to give a 1 or 2 line, we don't have a ton of time, but if you want to give a couple lines on that, like,
well, my big thing was ever since I've been in my 20s, I've been on some supplement routine. Health was a big thing for me. I got a lot of ailments in my family that are hereditary. I've been battling arthritis since I was in my mid 20s. And when you came and start going through all the stuff, I was pissed off. I'm going to be honest. I was pissed off because I thought about all the money I spent on products that I was not getting the effects from it. And I get it. I start understanding after starting the Tranont products that I could see the difference and I could feel the difference. But you trust that when you buy a product, it doesn't matter where you buy it from, you expect that you're going to get what you pay for. So that really made me upset. I did sit down all night and went down the rabbit hole and compared every supplement I had. I lined off my kitchen island with supplements and I compared them all. And it was, even at the cheapest price, I was still getting a better value with Tranont. And the other thing that I kind of talked myself into was the fact that if someone told me that my kid had chronic pain every day and there was something I could do to help lessen or take that pain away, I would find the money. But as women, we often don't do that for ourselves. And this year in 2023, I swore that this year would be about putting me first for once.
yeah.
So I would find it for my kid. Why wouldn't I find the money for myself? And we did. I mean, me not going out for coffees, that made a big dent. The filters, the coffee beans, all that stuff made a huge dent. And I also don't eat out as much. And I'm not buying as much candy because I don't get those afternoon cravings.
That's a good point. Yes, like your lifestyle changes, right? And your priorities change. And like all of a sudden one day you're realizing, like, I'm sorry, as an equal candy energy person, like same thing. I actually just thought of this while you were talking. I am a sugar addict, like a true actual food addiction sugar addict. And over the years, I've spent many detox periods and I am normally wretched. I am not a good person for like 3 or 4 days. Like you don't want to come near me when I am coming off sugar. Like they do say sugar is actually one of the most powerful drugs in the world because it's socially acceptable. It's in everything. And it's like taboo to be like going off sugar because it's in bread, everything, crackers. Anyways, I was literally detoxing last week and I was my normal self. And I have to tell you, I didn't clue in until about 4 days in. I'm like, I have not been a you know what this week. So definitely it makes a difference. So again, I'm sure we could talk to Susan all night long. We'll have to catch her on her next Saturday night. She's doing Sunday nights with Susie over in her group. So if you need some entertainment, we can hook you up over there. But we're going to pop over to Grace and we're going to talk about probably one of my quickly rising favorites from one of my already favorite people. Grace and I have been good friends for years and years. All the people on the call, I just feel really blessed that like, I feel like I'm just curating all my favorite people and building a team. Like it's so much fun. So anyways, Grace is going to pin her here so we can see her beautiful face and take it away and tell us all about the Enrich.
Hey everybody. Charlotte was actually one of my first camp counselors when I was like a tiny human, and she also helped me birth my actual human. So that's cool. Yeah, so she invited me to talk about Tranont. Mojo's also one of my top faves, Susan. Like it's the only one I have on subscription now because I can't live without it. But the enzymes are definitely my second top fave, and they're the ones that I'm seeing the most impact in my friends and family. So it's like the perfect combo of minerals and enzymes and probiotics and prebiotics. And I have a background in nutrition, and I had to do some deep dives into like, why is this so valuable? Why is this why is everybody feeling how awesome it is? And it's the perfect combination of things. That's what it is. They've made the prebiotics, which are the fertilizer to your inner microbiome. They're increasing the growth of your healthy gut bacteria. And then the probiotics it's giving you those living microbes that you need in your gut health. It's literally providing your body all of the perfect combination of things for you to be able to digest, for you to increase the bioavailability of your food. So I started taking it myself at night, and not with my food originally, because I was struggling with nausea. And I always had it every morning. I started taking the 2 caps before bed, and I haven't had any nausea. Then I started taking it with more complex meals. So with your bigger complex carbs, your hard fats, your proteins, the things that you normally kind of feel that, oh, like it's stuck, gone. All of that feeling of the bloating, the discomfort, all gone. And then a friend of mine at work, she was my second kind of, I'm calling her my star client, but she was struggling with GERD, I think is what it's called, the gastric reflux, and was missing 2 and 3 days at work because she was just so uncomfortable for no other reason than eating a heavier meal than normal, which just didn't seem right to me. So I was like, here, I just gave her a bag full of mine, and I was like, here, try these. She has now completely converted, swears that it's the thing that has cured her. She's able to be at work 5 days a week, no issue. She's able to enjoy her social schmoozing dinners. And now she's starting to recommend it to all her friends and family. Today was like the first day. I was like, Charlotte, I've got 6 hot leads. Like, I gotta go, which was really exciting. But it was all due to just the general, like, is feeling better. And the fact that I was able to just share that with her and know that she's trying to make her son feel better and her sister feel better and her brother feel better. That's what it's about for me. And it made me feel so good. And I'm so glad that the people that I care about in my life are also feeling those things. So hey, high five for Enzyme, super pumped. Yeah, really glad to be able to share these products with you guys.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. And I love listening to Grace talk because I love that we have someone on our team who gets the science behind it, has the nutrition background. Like when I'm talking to her, and she was one of my first people that I'm like, girl, let's just do this. Like, let's link arms, let's build, let's share. And I'm like, and also you're going to teach me a lot. And I think that really showcases the team that we're building, is that, you know, I might have the business side and I'm learning the nutrition. Grace has the nutrition background to tell us what are those missing pieces that we're still learning as we go. You know, for me with the enzymes, this was one of the first things I purchased back in the fall before I was even considering, you know, uprooting my entire life and being like, I'm all in on Tranont. Like, these products are freaking amazing. Because you hear about gut health, right? And the more I'm learning, I'm like, okay, so our immune system linked to your gut, your hormones linked to your gut, your like neurotransmitter, the gut brain connection, like this is all just budding information. It's hot topic. It's so important. And to me, you know, I just dumb it down in my brain to be like, this is breaking down my food so that I can get the nutrients I need and get rid of the toxins I don't. And, you know, for me, one of the things that was really cool, actually, it was kind of annoying. After about a month on my enzymes, I had big acne breakout. I've never had acne. I'm not like a perfect skin person, but I did a lot of research and reading and talking to people. And it was like, you know what, that's probably those enzymes helping detox your body and getting the crap out of you. Because as much as I love to eat healthy, I actually can really relate to the candy drawer. And I even had a few like binge eating weeks over the winter. And I just did an experiment of like, even if I'm eating a handful of candy, I'm going to take my enzyme. And I never ended up like, I am actually not on a weight journey. Like, to me, it's about health, but it's like, I didn't go up in pounds. My pants still fit. Like, so it was kind of cool to see, like, it is definitely working. I'm going to end this portion with a story. I was just telling Rita the other day, I don't know if I should ever tell anyone this story, but honestly, it's so funny. I'm just going to tell you, like, okay. So I went to the superstore. That's the grocery store here in our town. And they have this like beautiful section with like the fancy breads, and you pick out which ones you want, you put them in your little bag. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to treat myself to a cheesy bun, and I'm putting it in, and I'm like, oh, but the other one underneath had like way more crusty cheese on it. You know what I'm talking about. If you've had the cheesy bun, you always got to get the one with the best like crunchy cheese. So now I have 2 buns. Okay, that's not a problem to me. So I'm like telling myself like, this is excellent. I will have one today and one tomorrow. Okay, so I get in the car and I just immediately start eating the cheesy bun while I'm driving, right? So I'm like eating my cheesy bun, just driving like I've never seen food before. And I'm just chowing down on this cheesy bun, and I get halfway home. Let me be very clear. I live about 4.5 minutes from the grocery store. So I'm eating the bun and I'm like, damn, that's so good. But now I want that extra cheesy one with the extra cheese. What would a lady do other than start immediately eating the second cheese bun? Okay, so that's a thing. So I just start eating the second cheese bun. And by the time I'm halfway up my own street, Cavalier Drive, I'm like, I can't tell you how close I thought I might be to death. I couldn't breathe. It was like I couldn't get that breath. I was like burping up bubbles, and I'm like in my head, like, oh, what's my obituary is gonna say? Like, hungry lady dies from cheese. Like, that's what the thing is gonna say. Like, I don't think I can make it home. I'm burping up bubbles, and I'm like, that's new and disgusting. Anyway, so I get home, I like basically like crawl into my house, like I can't breathe. Hey, show some restraint, lady. But I didn't. I just ate them all. And I took 2 of these, and I actually just broke them open. So they're little capsules you can actually break open. And I just like poured it on my tongue, took some water, did it again. I cannot tell you how shocked I was, but within like 2 to 3 minutes, it was gone. I was breathing. Like within 5 minutes, I was back to normal. And like that. So anyways, I'm not going to exaggerate and say Enrich saved my life, but I'm not going to say it didn't. So, that's not obviously like how they're designed to be used, but also I just wanted to share that funny story. There's different ways you can kind of creatively, use that. And I think it's cool to mention too, like I have a kiddo that I think has some gut issues that's linked to behavior. The more I'm learning, I think it's linked to behavior. Still more research to come on that, but you can open them and like put it in a smoothie, put it in morning yogurt. You can kind of use them and open them up. Same thing with the Focus. I'm going to be starting to put that in the morning smoothie for my kids. So, okay, that's a little bit more information. Now we want to finish talking to Grace about the business side, because same thing. I could have said, hey, Grace, you're amazing. I want you to be my #1 customer. This stuff's going to change your life. But instead I said, hey, Grace, let's make some generational wealth. Let's leave a legacy for our kids. Like, I'm not holding back this time. In my former company, I was probably pretty restrictive with like how I talked and the vision I cast for others, because I knew it was only a certain personality that was going to succeed, because you had to do parties and all kinds of things. And there were, monthly. Anyways, can you please tell us a little bit more about why you said, yeah, Shar, let's do it?
I saw a benefit right away. Within the first month, I was able to make back what I invested. In the second month, I took my investment and I added a team member. And I'm already almost on my way to doing that again. And that is not me doing parties. That is not me doing as much social media as I should. And I'm trained in that. I should do better, but I do what I can when I can right now. And I saw the payoff right away. And more than that, I saw the benefit in everyone else. I saw that everyone's families were benefiting. I saw that everyone was spending more time with their children. And much like Shara, I was hushing them on Facebook. So I was like, I don't have time for this right now. I don't have time not to, is how I'm feeling now. I do it. When I had originally talked to Shara, she said, you do a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes at lunchtime, a few minutes in the afternoon. And as long as you're consistent, you'll get there. And I was like, yeah, like, okay. But it's so true. I made, I made the sales I needed to make without feeling like I was overwhelmed. I have enjoyed the products and sharing the products without feeling like I was a salesperson. I everything about it I've loved about the business. I got to go to the conference when they came to Halifax, and I got to meet everybody, and we had a friggin' dance party the first day I met. So can't say enough about everything. I asked critical questions when I first just signed up, and I wanted to make sure that the company was in line with my values and that the people I was surrounding myself with were in line with my values, and all in sync. So here I am, still just trudging along slowly but surely, and I'm really excited for what comes next.
And Grace just said trudging along, but I'd like to use this chance to actually introduce Grace as the newest Jade member on our team. She just had a big promotion 2 days ago, and we are so extremely happy and proud. And I think you are just such a living example. She's underselling herself. Like, we could do a whole night all about Grace. She's actually a foster mom of 2 kids and her own preschooler, and she works full time, and she's trying to work on solving the paramedic like system in our province, and like she has a big important job, and like just all the things that make her who she is. It's just another example of you can be successful without having to do this full time. And if you just share and love what you're taking and love what you're doing, like, make a goal and we'll make it happen. So then, like, if you're just here and you're like interested in being a customer, amazing. But the cool thing is there's no difference between being a customer and an associate, except where you get a website, so that when you're like taking collagen and you feel amazing, or you're taking vitamin E boost and you're reading all the benefits and you can't stop talking about it, instead of buying it from me or from Grace or Rita or Susan or whoever invited you here, they can buy it from you, and then you can get the commission, and then little by little that can grow. So we're going to end with a little bit of a, I don't know, I hope everybody feels as passionate about this story as I do. But Susan, I do want to call on you one last time. I promised everyone a story about a pink tuxedo. I feel like I just get teared up every time. So as we were talking about earlier, Single Mom Club, we know what it's all about. It's not like we're out there, you know, working frivolously to buy all the things for our kids because life is expensive. But she has a little guy, a not so little guy, doing grade 8 prom, and we're going to just hear all about this and how Tranont has brought added joy to your family and value in an unexpected way.
Well, first of all, I never thought I'd be sitting on this call. I didn't even think I would buy the product. So to be selling it, that's different. I am not a salesperson. I tell people all the time, I am not a salesperson. That is not my background. I don't think I'm very good at it. I am more of, you know, I just agreed to go on because I'm like, even if I could just make enough to pay for my stuff, I'll be happy. And I was blown away the first time Charlotte helped me set up my account. I'm like, that's wrong. That's not right. There's too much money in there. They made a mistake. I was really overwhelmed. I've been single for 11 years. I have struggled those 11 years. I've had to borrow money from people. I could not be in the position I'm in without my village of people around me, for sure. Money, my kids are used to here, and we can't afford that. That's how they grew up for the last 11 years. So when my son wanted a pink tuxedo for grade 8 prom, I'm like, oh my God, to rent it was like 300 and something. I'm like, I can't afford that. So when I found one on Amazon for $100, I'm like, I went in my Tranont account and I'm like, you know what? I can do it. I can pay for that. So when it came, I was so excited. I was overwhelmed because I never thought I could give my kid something like that. And he loves to dress up, but he's also grown a lot. So, to think about spending that much money on something that might not last very long, I would never have done it before, but it made me feel good to do that for my family, for sure.
Oh, thank you so much. And I think anyone who knows Aiden, just like the story has so much rich context behind it as well. Like, he's just going to shine. And what an example you're leading for your kids too, to say, go outside the box, do something different. Like, if this isn't what you ever did before, that's okay. Like, it's just sharing and having fun. And I could get into compensation plans about how you could make $5,000 a month. You know, my goal is to get to Emerald. And guess what? At Emerald, your bonus is $10,000 a month. Like, we can get into nitty gritty another night, but here's what I think is important. It might not be you who needs an extra $100 a month, but someone in your life needs an extra $100 a month. And if that's all the goal is, then that's great. I'm not saying Susan's making more than $100 a month with her Tranont, but that's a purchase that was possible because of Tranont. And I think any and all income, added streams of income these days, more than ever, it's that secondary stream of income. And I actually have hardly really even been using the term side hustle anymore, because I think people are tired and don't want to hustle. Like, this is like side authentic sharing is what I'm going to call it from now on out. Like, you don't have to hustle. You know, if you want to hit big goals, yes, of course, you make plans and you hustle and blah, blah, blah. But if you're just doing this for yourself, to share authentically, to grow naturally, like, I think we've just got such great examples right here in our own team and in our own town. And so anyways, I just want to say thank you to all our guest speakers. We have so many other products. We could talk about vitamin E. We could talk about meal replacement and how I'm having birthday cake flavored smoothies for lunch. We could talk about focus. I lovingly have them labeled brain pills. Like, these are awesome for me. I carry my stick packs of Zest and Mojo and Enhance. I've got a very sick child at home. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the vitamin C Fortify. I've been drinking that down every kid's throat for 3 days. Just get it out of the system, because now that I've learned what's in the store brand, why would I spend $20 on something that's not fully, truly vitamin C? Anyways, and not that it's not vitamin C, but it's not the full amount that I always thought it was. But I just want to say thank you to everyone. If you have questions, double back to the person who invited you here, or if you're watching this as a recording, shoot me a message, shoot a message to the person who sent you this link. And just in the words of Susan, right? It's a great year to take on your health. So many of us are depleted, tired, exhausted, you know, run down from the last few years of non-normalcy. It's just a really great time to like do something for yourself and prioritize yourself in a way that we would prioritize our child, tell our friend, you know, you're worth it. Guess what? Look in the mirror and tell yourself the same thing. So love you. Love everybody on the call. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to turn the recording off. If anyone does have questions, I don't mind staying on for an extra 10 minutes, but thank you, everybody.